I went on my first jump. I was instantly addicted. It was actually the first time that I felt alive again.
When I was 5 years old, started making my own parachutes out of blankets, sheets, and would jump off chimneys, trying to slow my descent off.
I was supposed to be a pilot, and then I did my first AFF jump and changed the entire course of my life.
The extreme sports and like skydiving, base jumping, speed flying, that's like kind of who I am. It's how I've defined myself. I did 60 jumps my first year and 1,100 my second year, so.
Now we're going to move on to the open. V-Prib, Thomas Delaback, Morris, Lee Sebelinsky, Joseph Kaiser, and Logan Maples. Please go to Jamie.
It's a weird sport. In 9 jumps, we might spend a total 2.5 minutes actually counting, flying to the ground. But we'll be here for days and training for months or a year for a minute and 15 seconds of performance time. So it's definitely, there's a lot of mental stuff going on. I purposely do like breathing techniques to help slow my heart rate so I can not be freaked out and to be at the right mental place at that exact moment for that 15-second performance. And when we're training and focusing on these types of events, the vertical speeds are 100 miles per hour, and that's 150 feet a second closing. And we're finishing the turn somewhere between 280 to 330, 400 feet. And so you're 2 to 3 seconds from impact if you don't stop the turn, basically. So the perception and the speeds that we're coming in are extremely fast, and it's hard to sometimes make the right decision. And sometimes it's not a decision as much as a reaction to what's happening to save your life if something goes wrong or something's unexpected. You know, that's why you see us all wearing GoPros and stuff, because it's really helpful to be able to see where you started, where you finished, how it turned out, and make corrections for the next jump.
Let's see what happens.
We basically have spent the past 12 years together, and we've seen every moment of each other's careers. And we push each other, you know? Even though we're competing against each other, we're still on the same team, so we're helping each other when the other person might be struggling a little bit.
It's pretty amazing, I mean, having a wife that doesn't just skydive, but also she actually competes as well. So she gets the whole mindset, and we get more nervous watching each other. And it's not even for safety anymore, you know? It's more about performance. It's because we want the other one to do really well.
With competing, we have to be very present, especially with the conditions changing. We have to be very aware of what's happening around us. We're not just eyeballing stuff. When we start our maneuvers, we're starting at the same altitude every jump, and we have something, again, that tells us when to start. So, of course, there's always going to be that risk, but we have a lot of tools that we use to keep it as safe as possible.
In the meantime, however, can I please have Mark Pierce, Ben Drew, and Mike Mozell with all your gear?
I'm a combat vet, and so drinking was the way to get rid of the chip on my shoulder. And I needed an outlet to get rid of the rage. My brain is just always cycling, always thinking about something. I'm like always on alert. And this allows me to kind of erase that alert for, 25 seconds.
My older sister, when I was 19, had passed away from complications in a surgery of Crohn's disease. I was 19, I just got out of high school. So it was really hard for me personally. Thoughts like, she's a better person than me, why am I still here? Why did she go? So that drove me to be very aggressive. I was pushing risks because of the freedom of, well, who cares if something goes wrong? I don't really care. You know, like that was the mentality. So I became really good really fast, but I was also very dangerous very fast, just letting go, you know, like, oh, and it was actually the first time that, like I said, it felt alive again.
When you jump out of an airplane, you have to be fully present in that moment, so everything else goes on the back burner. For that 1 minute free fall plus however long you're under canopy is like, that's all that's happening. And it's such an awesome relief for people because their bills get thrown out, all the problems they're having in any aspect of their life are just, they're completely gone, as they have to be.
I coach about 800 to 1,000 students a year, all over the world in different countries, and I focus a lot on the mental health part of it. There's been quite a few people that have had a lot of drug abuse history, thoughts of suicide, and skydiving has completely changed their lives. If you have a fear of heights or any kind of fear, getting to that door and actually getting yourself out really releases all of that fear, and I feel like really sets you free.
My mom understands. Like she understands why I do this. She understands that it's like a replacement to doing something that is bad for me. I think that every combat vet should make at least one skydive. Is it going to cure PTSD? No, but it gives you like an outlet. It allows you to be in control of your mindset, even just momentarily. And so it's like, if I can't do it, then I go stir crazy. I literally don't know what to do with myself if I'm not like, my toes aren't on the line. It keeps me going, for sure.
You know, it's been difficult, especially relationships with family, only because you don't want to let those people down. And I've had a lot of friends in the sport as well, get into major accidents or met their demise doing what I do for a living, you know, and I have students who've wrecked and have hard times. And so it's a huge mental game in terms of controlling your own emotion and doing things for yourself, but also trying to think about your family and about what you have for a future with the people who care about you. It makes it much more difficult, but you find yourself in the sport. You learn things more about who you are and what you're capable of achieving, and like the winning competitions, and just that's helped me become much more successful in everything I've done in life. It's a skydiver thing, but they would say cutting away from some of the junk in life that's pulling you back and keeping you from succeeding. That might be yourself if you're hard on yourself based off of what you're doing in your mental preparation for anything. To go from, you know, being super depressed to finding happiness again. It could be skydiving, it could be whitewater rafting, whatever it is. Just do something that's outside your comfort zone. It'll make you a better person, for sure.